Left foot creep, oh, what you want to eat? Sit around, stay low, get you on your feet. I don't know, I just like doing that. Something that's the gritty that the NFL players have been doing lately and is now a popular emote on Fortnite. But we're not here about to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about other stuff. This is Dylan Knows episode 444, Total Blood Moon. Today is a total lunar eclipse starting around 10:39 a.m. around a.m. p.m. Excuse me, 10:39 p.m. tonight when the moon starts getting munched away, and then we get into totality about 12:11 a.m. this evening. So it is actually a total lunar eclipse. So that means the entire moon will be eclipsed, which means you'll get a kind of a rusty red color to the moon. I've seen a few total eclipses, lunar eclipses, and partial lunar eclipses before. So this one's a pretty good one, I think. So keep your eyes out for that one. We got some death. We got some NFL news. We've got some Walk of Fames. We got some Oscars. We got lawsuits. We got Dylanday aftermath. We've got some trailers, some cancellations. A new Doctor Who has been chosen, but a old Doctor Who may be coming back as well. Excuse me. Some more white animals, sharks. That's right. The giant dog bed. Mars makes a bunch of appearances this week as well, and black holes. Coppola finally has his Megalopolis money, so we're going to go and talk about some casting he did, and some casting issues and other stuff as well. So we got all kinds of interesting stuff rolling through here. First up was leaked today. Don't know if this is going to stay this way or it was leaked intentionally or they might change it because of the leak. We'll see. But on the Disney Plus website in Disney Plus UK, they leaked that She-Hulk, the next series after Miss Marvel, supposedly, I guess, now that this new stuff's come to light, will be premiering August 17th. So that is a Wednesday. So it fits with when they premiere stuff. I guess it works out properly. Miss Marvel will go from early June through July. Obi-Wan's got his show through mid-June, and then I believe Andor is going to come on after that. So I guess that would cover in July. That would mean Andor would probably show up in July then to cover that period of time without any TV shows. And then She-Hulk coming August 17th makes sense, I guess, in that way. The other one that possibly could come out after this is Secret Invasion. So that might be at the tail end of the year, possibly. Like Hawkeye came out around Christmas time. So they might do that with Secret Invasion. So we'll see what happens. But as of now, it looks like She-Hulk will be debuting August 17th. Disney UK leaked it by accident, but Disney Plus has not verified it. So for now, take it with a grain of salt, and we'll see what happens. James Hong, one of the best Asian American actors out there, who's been in millions of movies, done voices for millions of stuff. He's the voice of Poe's father in Kung Fu Panda. He was in Turning Red. He's been in a whole bunch of different movies. Just recently in the one movie about the multiverse that wasn't Marvel. So he's been around forever. He's finally getting his Walk of Fame star. So he has one on the star as well. Yesterday, May 14th, was Dylan Day. That's a celebration of Dylan Thomas, the poet, but I like to call it, base it on me because my name is Dylan. They hashtag it as Dylan Day, so I figured, why not go with that? The real Dylan Day for me is not till June 20th, which is when my birthday is. But so yesterday was Dylan Day. It was also my ex-girlfriend's birthday, so happy birthday to you. Also, we had a party for my brother-in-law. He got his master's in special education, Masters of Special Education. So my sister wanted to throw a party for him. So just me and my mom drove down, and because my daughter is at a leadership training, which she'll be back momentarily, and my wife and son. We just want to make sure that they stayed nearby in case something happened to my daughter. And also my son would probably been bored out of his mind because it was just grown-ups there, no kids, and it was raining, so there's no outdoor activities. So it would have been boring for him anyway. But we only stayed for about 3-4 hours. It was, good food, pit beef, or the pit pork, I should say, pulled pork, and some chicken and deviled eggs and cookies and all kinds of salad, stuff like that. So it was nice. And it's nice seeing my dad and stepmom and my sister, brother-in-law, my nephews, and, some people I haven't seen in a while after that. There was one really fun bit, though. There was a thing near the end of the party where me and my sister was doing the dishes. My mom was, drying them. My dad and I were sitting in their living room talking to them. So it was the original Lang family. My family from my parents got divorced, and then they all got remarried and had stuff like that. So it was just kind of fun to have the original four back together, even for a small amount of time. So that was kind of fun. And then after that, came home. A lot of traffic on the way home. Usually from my mom's house, it takes about, okay, I gotta respond to this real quick. Sorry, my daughter is now coming back. Sorry about this. This is great. So it was a lot of rain on the way home and a lot of traffic. So usually it takes 2 hours from my mom's house to get to my sister's house. And we did that on the way down. We had no problem. But on the way back, we had an additional 20 minutes due to stupid backups in 5 or 6 different areas on the different highways I drove on. Then I drove all the way back home, and my son decided he wanted to spend the night at his friend Hunter's house. So my wife had just taken him. And when I got back to our house, I got back to our house. She had just gotten back from dropping him off at his friend's house. So then I talked to my wife a little bit, told her about the party, and then we went and got Qdoba for our dinner. And then we watched 2 Avengers movies. We watched the Avengers and Captain Marvel, and then went to bed. And then woke up about 10 o'clock. And then my wife showered and left to go see my daughter about 12 o'clock at her finishing up her leadership thing, and just get the text from them that they are leaving now. So they'll be home probably about 4:30. So by the time this show is over, they will probably be home. So we'll get on that right away. So a pretty okay day. Next weekend was supposed to be another free weekend for me because the kids were all going to be camping, but that has been canceled because nobody wanted to go camping really except for my kids. So it'll be just a normal weekend then. And my wife and daughter are going to help at an Eagle project with my daughter's best friends, and my son and I are going to probably get our haircuts finally. So we'll see what happens. And who knows? Maybe I'll have another one of these shirts. Probably not. I don't think I've wear the red one yet. I think I wore the green one a couple weeks ago, the blue one. Now I have the yellow one. I'm currently re-getting all my Green Lantern shirts because the ones I got when they originally came out are old, and I've worn them a million times and are raggedy. So, and don't fit me really anymore. So, the NFL schedule came out this week, and I got a little screwed by it. They decided they were going to release bits and pieces of games periodically the weeks leading up to it. So they'd release 1 here, 2 there, whatever. And someone made a release from what looked like the real NFL Facebook page saying that the Washington Commanders were going to play the Lions on Thanksgiving for the first game of Thanksgiving. The Bengals were going to play the Cowboys in the afternoon game, and the Ravens were going to play the Bills in Baltimore on Thanksgiving night. So I was like, oh, great. Both Washington and Baltimore are going to get Thanksgiving games. Last time we had that, the Ravens couldn't play it because 2020 was the COVID stuff. There was an outbreak, and we couldn't play the game. I think that was our Wednesday game that we ended up playing anyway. So then I found out that wasn't true. The Ravens do not have a Thanksgiving game. Neither do the Washington Commanders. They do not have a Christmas Day game. I thought I would be home for also the Ravens, who had a down year last year, but not really their fault, injuries. And despite the fact they had injuries to everybody and their quarterback and their wide receiving room, running backs, their defense, stuff like that, if things would have gone a few different ways, we would have been in the playoffs. We ended up being 8-9 and last place in our division. And we should have, of all the 17 games we played last year, only 2 we got blown out in by, and that was by the Bengals. But everything else, we were close by. We almost beat the eventual Super Bowl champions in the Rams. We almost beat Aaron Rodgers, who is a god to the NFL, and in our game with them. So we almost won. I know it's almost isn't the answer, but the fact is, everyone's was sleeping on the Ravens, despite being injury prone and losing all their star players. We were still in every single game against big league, not crappy teams, some pretty impressive teams. And the NFL just showed its disrespect for us by only giving us 3 national games. One is the usual Thursday night, which we always get. One was a Sunday night game against the Bengals at home, and one is a Monday night game, I believe, against the Saints in New Orleans, and that's all we got. We had a game against the Bills, which could have been a Thanksgiving night game, or it could have been at least another potential night game, a big game like that, primetime game. Even though the Steelers are undergoing a bit of a change of the guard as well, and they're doing upgrades and stuff like that. They're going to probably be not that good this year. The Ravens Steelers is still one of the best rivalries in football, and for the second straight year, there's no primetime game between the Ravens and Steelers. So just disappointed in a lot of stuff, and we'll see what happens. And then again, like last year, there's all kinds of weird quirks in the schedule. They're like really going crazy with the schedules now. The one with the Ravens is the Ravens play the AFC East this year. We play the AFC East first 4 games of the season in order. We play the Jets, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. First 4 weeks of football season, we're playing the AFC East. And then we have our Sunday night game against the Bengals week 5 at home. That's our first game against a division rival. Our bye is late this year. It's in mid-November, which usually it's end of October. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll see. I mean, if the Ravens are who we think they're going to be, they had a A+ draft according to everybody who talks on the draft. And we're going to get people back from injury, and things are looking, brighter. We've had some good free agency signings. If everything, no one gets hurt and we, get better, we should be a playoff caliber team. So it's potentially that, once we get to the December time frame, we will be getting some flexed games depending on things. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I was not the biggest fan of this schedule, particularly after being duped by someone. So, but it's been released, so now the endless speculation is going on about what their records are going to be, which is absolute nonsense because you don't know how injuries or how the team's chemistry is going to be gelling and so on and so forth. So you're just going by what happened last year. So whatever. Yeah, gravity signals. Gravity signatures, I guess is what it said, signals, something like that, could detect earthquakes at the speed of light, something scientists have been working on, trying to figure out a way to detect earthquakes quicker. If this new gravity thing could work, it might be able to get a better early warning sign, because earthquakes tend to usually just pop up whenever, but if they knew one was coming, they could potentially set up some sort of warning for people to get ready for one coming. The Ukraine won Eurovision, the singing competition that's been around since the 70s. My daughter is obsessed with it, and she likes it, so I'm not going to tell her what's going to happen. Let her find out on her own. But Ukraine, with the whole Ukraine war going on, a lot of people believe it was a political statement, having them win Eurovision this year. I don't know, because I haven't watched any of the songs. I couldn't tell you, but Ukraine is the winner of Eurovision. Last summer, we had our cicada summer, our 18-year cicadas. And honestly, it didn't seem all that bad. There were a lot of cicadas, and it was loud, but it wasn't as bad as I usually thought it was. And so that ended. But then there's talk now that the late bloomers, the ones that weren't ready to go last year, part of the 18-year-old ones, are going to be making their way out of their hatches this year. So we might have a bump and increase in cicada stuff, but I'm not expecting too much to come from that. They've announced when the next Oscars is. I think the 95th or 96th annual Oscars is now slated to hit March 12th, 2023. Hopefully it won't be as major a event as it was last year. So that, again, leads me to believe that that weekend, the March 11th, March 12th, you'll get my usual Academy Award nominee picks show. So we'll do that. It's been a good week for gay black actors. CW released a trailer for a new show called Tom Swift, which stars has a black gay leading man. The character is black and gay, and the actor who plays him is black and gay. Doctor Who has finally announced its new Doctor Who, and after much speculation, it is an actor from the TV show Sex Education. He is a Rwandan English gay black actor by the name of Kudi Gatwer. So he will be introduced as the new Doctor Who when they have a special coming out. I believe it'll be next year for the 60th anniversary. Speaking of that, breaking news came down just before I came on the show. David Tennant and Catherine Tate will be reteaming for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary special coming out next year, 2023. So they'll be at least in an episode or two of the new, or a special, whatever they're going to be doing for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. They will return reprising their roles from their successful Doctor Who run. So some good Doctor Who stuff coming on. Now, Doctor Who's 60th anniversary is next year, 2023, which is also going to be the 60th anniversary of JFK assassination, because Doctor Who premiered on the day John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So that's how those two are always going to be intertwined. So that's their 60th was next year, 2023. This year, we do have another 60th anniversary that's quite different. Spider-Man, my favorite superhero, the one that got me into comics in the first place, will be celebrating his 60th anniversary in September of 2022, which is May, June, July, 4 months from now. And Amazing Fantasy number 1000. Remember, Amazing Fantasy number 15 is when Spider-Man made his first appearance. So Marvel, because they always like to jump on this kind of stuff, they are releasing in time for his 60th anniversary Amazing Fantasy 1000, which is going to be like a 80-page spine, what they should call those, prestige format book that has a spine and a hardcover, stuff like that. Anthology of Spider-Man stories written by some of the best writers out there, and some who've written Spider-Man before. Dan Slott returns to write a Spider-Man story. Neil Gaiman writes one of his first ever real Spider-Man stories. Terry Dodson, Michael Cho are going to be doing some artwork, and there's a whole list of people rolling into this, so that'll be out in time for Spider-Man 60th anniversary. So I will be doing a show on Spider-Man's 60th, around Spider-Man's 60th anniversary. I got to find out. I forget. It's sometimes like September 16th or something like that. Let me find out when it actually is. Spider-Man Day. It's August 1st. August 1st. I thought it was going to be September. On August 1st, 1962, the holiday was first celebrated when Spider-Man made his first. Okay, I thought it was September, so I guess we're going to have to wait till September for the 60th anniversary thing, and not August 1st. So August 1st is Spider-Man Day. Oh, okay. That's a lot sooner than I thought it was. So I guess they're not going to be releasing it in time for Spider-Man's anniversary. I thought it was in September for whatever reason. August 1st is Spider-Man Day. So I will be doing a show about Spider-Man, and that's all it will be about. Calendar. That's a Monday. So may do it July 31st or may do it August 6th, depending. So I might do it July 31st, actually. So we'll see. So I will be doing a Spider-Man show sometime around August 1st for my own personal remembrances of it, my reviews of the Spider-Man movies, some looks at the comics, take a look at maybe do a top 10 list of top 10 best Spider-Man stories, maybe do top 10 lists of a bunch of different things like the top 10 Spider-Man stories, top 10 Spider-Man artists, writers, characters, villains, heroes. I could supporting cast. I could do a whole bunch. I could just do a whole show about the top 10s if I wanted to. And I could talk about the movies. I haven't really thought it through fully, but that might actually, I could do a bunch of top 10s that'll lead to discussing Spider-Man a little bit, talk about my history with Spider-Man, and fun stuff like that. Married with Children is going to be getting an animated reboot with the original cast coming back to voice the characters. So that's good. I guess it would cost too much to bring all the actors back, and no network would probably want to do another series. They probably wouldn't want to do a whole bunch of series, and they could all be doing other stuff right now that they don't want to do a TV series. But to do an animated series isn't that bad because the actors just have to go in, record their lines for a day or whatever, and they're done. So, and they still have a show, and they still get paid for it. So that could be a pretty good thing for them. So that's good. Dan Stevens has been cast to star in the newest MonsterVerse film, which we don't know what that is yet. For those who don't know, the MonsterVerse is the new Godzilla movies, the Godzilla, Kong Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Kong versus Godzilla. Those are the first three of the MonsterVerse ones. There's apparently going to be a fourth one coming since they've all done really well. And Dan Stevens, who I really don't know who that is, has been cast to be the lead in the new Monster Universe film, whatever it may be. And then I saw I didn't write it down, so I didn't think much about it, but now I'm talking about it. I saw something right up that there's a possibility that the next MonsterVerse movie might not involve Godzilla. He's been in all of them except for Kong Island. So it might be Mothra or a new monster, new kaiju, whatever. They can come up. Maybe it's going to be the Turtle, because the Turtle had his own series for a while too. So we'll see what happens with that. So we'll be get more information as we know about it. Stephanie Beatrice, who played Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and was also the lead voice in Encanto, has been cast in the live-action adaptation of the video game Twisted Metal, which stars Anthony Mackie. And she's going to be playing a new character that was not in any of the video games. So this might be a character that might eventually show up if they do a new Twisted Metal video games. But right now she's playing a brand new character in this Twisted Metal live action movie that'll probably be coming out sometime next year. It's filming right now, I believe. Psyduck, who's one of my favorite Pokemon, is going to be getting his own steaming teapot set in Japan, which is, considering who Psyduck is, it's very appropriate. So I think that's really cool. Kansas man finds a mythical looking axe with a root for a handle in his front yard. So doesn't know where that came from or whatever. It was buried deep in his yard. I guess he was doing some renovations or whatever and discovered it. So that's interesting. Tyler Hoechlin is returning for Paramount Plus's Teen Wolf revival film. Now, it's not the Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf, but there was a TV series that was on MTV for the longest time, which I guess Tyler Hoechlin was part of, as was Dylan O'Brien and stuff like that. They apparently are making a film for Paramount Plus, and Dylan O'Brien hasn't signed on yet, but everybody's wondering if he is or isn't, because he was the breakout star of that movie, show, whatever. So we'll see. But Tyler Hoechlin, who's currently playing Superman in the Superman and Lois show, currently on the CW, is going to be reprising whatever the role he played in Teen Wolf was for the Teen Wolf revival film. So good for them. MODOK, the animated series that was to be released on Hulu, has been canceled after one season. Now, the Hulu Marvel stuff has not done very well at all. You had the Hellstrom got deleted after one season. MODOK got deleted after one season. Kevin Smith's adaptation of one of the, I guess it was a Howard the Duck or something like that, did not even go forward anymore. So it's just Hulu's just sort of like, we don't give a rat's ass about Marvel stuff. Let Disney Plus handle that. So that's gone now. Emily Marsh is the new host of MST3K. The new version has Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt as the bad guys. And now we have Emily Marsh, the first female lead, who is going to be the one who is going to be riffing on the movies now. apparently the new season, which was done by Kickstarter, has been airing on like the Epix channel or something like that. So, but it's been going on for a while. But she has been doing it for a little while now. But I don't think I ever mentioned it. So here we are. Emily Marsh is the new MST3K host. True Lies, the TV show based on the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Quantum Leap, the revival, and Gotham Knights have all been ordered for the CW. Have all been ordered to series, direct to series, without going from pilot to releasing the pilot. Then they've ordered to go to series. So all three of those will be coming to your networks in the fall. Enjoy. He's going upstairs. Okay. I don't know what my son was doing. I should have done this with the NFL schedule thing, but I'm terrible at doing this type of stuff. But there's a fan lawsuit out there now claiming that the Giants and the Jets should drop the New York from their names because they play in New Jersey and should be called the New Jersey Jets and Giants and not the New York Giants and Jets. I don't know if it's going to get any traction because honestly, it's not really hurting anybody that they're calling themselves New York and they're just playing right across the river from it. So I don't know. Deaths this week. The one big one this week was Fred Ward, a character actor who's been in a bunch of stuff, mostly known for his role on Tremors and also The Right Stuff. He died at the age of 79. Kevin Bacon released a statement praising his co-star and missing him deeply. Midge Decter, architect of neoconservatism, don't know anything about that, died at the age of 94 this week. Jack Kaler, another character actor with 170 screen credits, including playing the Big Lebowski's landlord, died at the age of 75 this week as well. So a lot of character actors have been passing away the last couple of weeks. We'll see if that continues on. Now, earlier this year, Scream 5, or is known as Scream Alone, which is weird. Anyway, Scream 5 came out and made bank. It was the movie that dropped No Way Home or Tom Holland's reign on the box office between No Way Home and Uncharted. It came up and did fairly good. So they are releasing a Scream 6. And they announced this week that Hayden Panettiere, who was in Scream 4, and everybody was hoping would be back for Scream 5 because they really loved her character and they thought she could still have survived. But when she did not appear in Scream 5, they assumed that she was dead because she was attacked by the Scream killer. Well, apparently she is alive and well because she has been cast in Scream 6. So that's good. And they also cast 4 actors that were from Scream 5 to come on and re-sign as well. Of the new actors, we still don't know much about Neve Campbell or Courtney Cox. If they're going to be reprising the roles, I would assume that they probably would be once their schedules open up. I've heard that both of them would be interested in returning to the series, so we'll see what happens. But to me, it's interesting that they seem to be creating a new trilogy when they're keeping some of the same old characters here. 1 through 3 had Sydney and had some connection between David Arquette and Courtney Cox and even Jamie Kennedy, and all 3 of those they had all 3 of them sort of had connections to that. And then the 4th one, same thing happened. They were all part of that, and it just seemed like it might not have been necessarily. It just didn't seem, because there was no Jamie Kennedy, so there just didn't seem like it was like they're trying to start a different trilogy then, and then they did a completely different rewrite with number 5, and now it looks like they're starting doing with all these re-signings of the former cast members. So that's good. Also, speaking of casting, Christopher Walken has been cast as Emperor Shaddam IV in Dune Part 2. Everybody thinks that's a good signing. I mean, it's Christopher Walken. I don't know much about the character, but if they say it's a good sign, it's a good sign. Liam Neeson and Joe Keery will be starring in a David Cope sci-fi virus thriller. So that's going to be rolling in here very soon here. Francis Ford Coppola's dream film Megalopolis is finally a go picture, and he has cast Adam Driver, Forrest Whitaker, John Voight, and a few others as well. It is a high-tech sort of movie. Not high-tech, it's a high maintenance sort of movie. The basic premise is he's going to compare the fall of Rome with the fall of a major city in the present time, something like that. So it's going to be very epic in scale, and you've got a pretty straight good group of actors coming in there, so that'd be good. We'll see. I'm just not a fan of the John Voight one because of his seditious Republican asshole theories and beliefs. So F him. Breathe, the Jennifer Hudson, Mila Jovovich, Sam Worthington action thriller has also started filming here soon. So we've got another really good action film starting to get picked up. So films seem to be starting to pick up a little bit more in production and getting more as we seem to get further and further away from COVID, though COVID's not going away. The positivity rate is going back up now in Maryland. It's going back up in the schools again. So it's never going away because morons who refuse to get vaxxed or wear masks out and about are screwing it up for everybody. So thank you very much, you fucking assholes. Skyline, which is a series of, well, the first one came out, they were trying to hope for like a brand new sort of sci-fi series to come out and be very popular and huge, and it was, high concept, so on and so forth type of stuff. But it's a terrible movie. We watched it with the Snark Alex once, and it was just awful. It was so bad, but it did enough popularity, had enough popularity that they made like 3 or 4 other ones out after it. And once again, they can keep it like low budget, so it makes its money back. So it looks like it's successful. So they're finally starting filming for the last one, which is Skyline Ritual or something like that, which the directors are comparing it to Endgame. So it's sort of like their version of, closing out their series in style. It's probably going to be the last one if that's how they're describing it as. So to have the intensity and emotions of an Endgame sort of thing. So I'm not going to watch it, but hey, if you're fans of that, hey, that's coming up for you real soon. The Moon Knight producers, after a successful run on the Moon Knight TV show, have decided that they're going to move on, and they're going to be doing the producing for the new Fantastic Four movie. So that's a pretty good sign because the producers of Moon Knight did a really, really good job with the series. So if they're the ones who are producing Fantastic Four, we're in good hands. Speaking of that, spoilers for those who haven't seen Doctor Strange 2 yet, but the biggest surprise in that to me really was seeing the fan wish of John Krasinski playing Reed Richards, as he was part of the Illuminati. And we saw him very briefly. He's only in the movie for about maybe 5 minutes and ends up getting brutally murdered by Wanda. But, he's got the look, he's got the beard and the graying temples and stuff like that. And, he would probably, I think I could survive. I think I would like seeing him maybe as Reed Richards, as long as they bring Emily Blunt in as Sue Storm. I think that 2 of them together would be outstanding. And maybe even bring him in as a director because he's doing a really good job of directing as well since they lost John Watts. So, but the reason I'm bringing this up is the show that sort of made Krasinski after The Office, because he was mostly known as The Office, but he wanted to get beyond The Office stuff. So he ended up signing up for Amazon's Jack Ryan TV series based on the character from the Hunt for October series and Tom Clancy series of novels. And it was fairly successful leading up to its 4th season, which is going to be coming out very soon. But they announced this week that the 4th season will be the final one for Jack Ryan, the TV show on Amazon. And Marvel fans are freaking out because with the fact that Fantastic Four is not due out till 2024, that leads precedence to, well, since Krasinski no longer has a job, I mean, I think he's got the Quiet Place prequel he's going to be making here in a second. But after that, he's got nothing to do that we know of. So right around that time, you start doing pre-production for the Fantastic Four. So the speculation now that he is no longer doing Jack Ryan since it's been canceled is leading people to believe that Krasinski will continue in his role as Reed Richards, and this time will be introduced into the MCU proper and not the alternate version that he was in Doctor Strange 2. So, yeah, interesting. We'll see what happens. The Loki, the creators of the Loki TV show have said that season 2 is going to feature more fun. What's the proper word there? Teases more. I can't read it, but teases more of goofy things going on and more that you're used to seeing with Loki, instead of what we kind of saw with Loki trying to redeem himself. This way, we're going to see more mischief. That's what it is, more mischief in season 2. It starts filming June 6th, so I'm sure that Hiddleston's probably wrapping up whatever he's working on now and getting himself ready for the new season. Maybe even has already started reading the new scripts, finding out where things are going, so we'll see what happens. David Duchovny will be writing, directing, and starring in an adaptation of his own novel, Bucky fucking Dent. And I want to look that up on Amazon to see if he wrote a novel. I hadn't heard anything about it, so either it got released and I never heard about it. Bucky. Let's see if it'll let me say it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it came out. Let's see what the description of it is. Oh, it's a baseball thing. Ted Fullilove, also known as Mr. Peanut, is not like other Ivy League grads. He shares an apartment with Goldberg, his beloved battery-operated fish, sleeps on a bed littered with yellow legal pads penned with what he hopes will be the next great American novel, and spends the waning days of the Carter administration at Yankee Stadium, waxing poetic while slinging peanuts to pay the rent. When Ted hears the news that his estranged father, Marty, is dying of lung cancer, he immediately moves back to his childhood home, where a whirlwind of revelations ensues. The browbeating absentee father of Ted's youth tries to make up for lost time, but his health dips drastically whenever his beloved Red Sox lose. And so, with the help from Mariana, the New Yorker grief counselor with whom Ted promptly falls in love, and a crew of neighborhood old-timers, Ted orchestrates the illusion of a Boston winning streak, enabling Marty and the Red Sox to reverse the curse of the Bambino and cruise their way to a World Series victory. Well, sort of. So, David Duchovny's richly drawn Bucky effing Dent explores the bonds between fathers and sons and the age-old rivalry between Yankee fans and the Fenway faithful, and grapples with our urgent need to preserve and risk everything in the name of love. Persevere, and risk everything in the name of love, culminating in the fateful moment October 78 when the mighty Bucky Dent hit his way into baseball history with the unlikeliest of home runs. This tender, insightful, and hilarious novel demonstrates how life truly belongs to losers, and that the long shots are the ones worth betting on. So it's kind of a bizarre little book, but it's a baseball sort of thing. It's a father and son things, and Duchovny is writing, directing, and starring in his adaptation of that book. So, could be interesting. So we'll see how that comes about and see where we go from there. There's also, let me see if there's I know there's another one sort of similar to that. Let's see if I can find that. No, I can't. I'll find it eventually. There was something else that has a similar thing that someone is doing a adaptation of his own book or something like that. Let's see. What do we got here? Massive great white shark has been discovered off the coast of Jersey, off the Jersey Shore. So they're starting to make their rounds again. There's another one I think that's just been swimming up and down the East Coast. So there's a couple of them wandering around here. So that's interesting. The ivory-billed woodpecker that was thought to be extinct since 1944 has been rediscovered. So again, that's always a good sign when you have something like that come up. And we've been having lots of appearances lately of rare all white animals and all different types of species and styles, from bugs to mammals to reptiles, stuff like that. Well, add a shark to that, an all white shark has been found. So there's something really odd happening out there. I would assume that all of a sudden all these all white animals are starting to make appearances. I don't know if that's a sign of things or a warning of things. So I don't know. We'll have to find out eventually. But so that's kind of interesting. The black hole at the center of our Milky Way has finally been photographed this week for the first time. So it's a pretty interesting and intense looking black hole, and could be pretty interesting down the line. Mars is all over the place this week. Let's see if I can find all the Mars ones. I remember which one. We'll start with the one that we'll see how they. But there was where is it? Hold on. No, I'll get to it eventually. I know it's around here somewhere. Yep, doorway on Mars. There was a photo from a NASA rover. Shows what appears to be a doorway into a mountain on Mars. Now, people are looking at it as the people who are the skeptics are calling it as a illusion, or just the way that a rock formation came that looks like that it's a doorway. But looking at the clear picture, it looks like a doorway, and it's pretty interesting. I don't think anything's going to come of it, and I don't know if you just want to call it as being, believing that it's a conspiracy theory about aliens, that they're living underground or whatever. But it's still kind of interesting. And the picture is, real. It's not been doctored or anything like that. So it's, again, it could be one of those things where people see a rock formation, but because their mind can't access it or separate it from being something that it doesn't recognize it. So it gives their mind something that, well, it looks like a doorway, like you see with clouds. You look up at the clouds, they say it looks like a chicken or it looks like a dog or whatever. It does that with this thing. So we'll see. But it is a really impressive photo. And we'll see what comes of that. But speaking of underground, NASA also discovered their first recorded their first ever monster earthquake on Mars. It's the largest one ever discovered on another planet. Obviously, we'd have really discovered any, looked at on the other planets, but it's the first earthquake we've had, and we've discovered on a different planet than our own. I think they said if they did it on Earth, it'd be like a 5.4 or something like that on the Richter scale. So it was a pretty massive one. So that's kind of interesting. The Mars helicopter that's been flying overhead and doing stuff has been offline for all week, and they discovered the reason why, that it was caked in dust from the surface of Mars. So it's somehow they're cleaning it off, or it's getting cleaned off, or it's getting cleaned off on its own, something like that. But it is getting taken care of on that end. And I think my wife and daughter might just be home, so we'll see what happens. I heard a car door slam outside. Could be them, might not be them. And the other, is that the only, there's the three Mars things. Let's see. Yep, those are the 3 Mars things. So there you go. First Kill, the lesbian vampire teen love story, which is going to be appearing on Netflix, gets its first trailer. Yeah, it's them. Oh, no, that's Noah come down the steps. So I don't know much about it. I didn't watch it. So, but hey, if you're in that type of stuff, there you go. Scientists are going to exhume a 14th century sarcophagus that was found buried in Notre Dame Cathedral while they were doing repairs after the massive fire that hit it a couple of years ago. So they're going to open it up and see who is buried in here and see if it could be a historical find or just information in general, wondering why this person was buried in the Notre Dame Cathedral. Was their importance? How good are they? That type of thing. A schoolboy discovers a 3 million-year-old megalodon tooth on a Suffolk beach. Suffolk is in England. So he found a massive megalodon tooth from 3 million years ago. So good on that. Apple is going to be getting rid of the iPod now. So no more iPods. The old music sort of saving thing is going the way of the dodo. So it had a long run, but now it is going away. Giant dog beds for humans. You get the dog bed for your dog. It's nice and fluffy and comfortable, and they fall right in there and they can fall asleep in it. Well, a lot of humans like it, so they decided to make human-sized one. So now you can sleep in a giant dog bed if you want. It's kind of weird, but okay. Surreal Estate, the fairly interesting show about a group of real estate agents whose their job is to clean haunted houses before they go for sale on the real estate market, was canceled after one season on Sci-Fi. But then Sci-Fi said, oops, our bad. We probably would like to do a second season. And it's possible that maybe fan outrage, same fans that liked Winona Earp probably jumped on Surreal Estate because it has sort of the same sort of pedigrees to it. And so they very well could have been the reason why Sci-Fi decided to go back for a second season. But a second season has been picked up for Surreal Estate after it being canceled. So now you're going to get a new season of Surreal Estate. So you get additional episodes for fans of the show. Enjoy them. Flaming Hot Cheetos is a brand that has continually come up with new flavors all the time. Well, they have a new one now called the Carolina Reaper flavor, which is one of the hottest peppers out there. So if you really like things really, really hot, you go for it there. On the other side of the spectrum, you have Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew always has new stuff as well. They have a new Mountain Dew called Purple Thunder. It's a plummy blackberry flavor that can only be getting at a Circle K shop, which fortunately for me is there's one on the way to work. So it's just better me pulling off to the side and going in there and picking one up to try it. So, but I only go buy it when I'm going to work. I never when I'm leaving work because it's the exit I would normally take is closed off for repair. So I wouldn't be able to leave that area. I'd have to double back again and go the way home I usually do. So we'll see what happens. Optimus Prime Lego set has been released. I think it was released this week. So fans of Transformers Optimus Prime can now get your own Lego version of it. The Lightyear serial, based on the Pixar movie coming out later this year, or rather in June, I should say, starring Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz Lightyear, is out in stores now. A Simple Favor, a film I did not know much about, directed by Paul Feige, and starring Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick, is getting a sequel because apparently it did good enough. And I was like, okay, I'd never heard of this movie. So I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it made like $98 million. I was like, never heard of it. And it was only not too long ago. And Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick is pretty cool. So a sequel will be coming out, also directed by Paul Feige. Spinal Tap 2, the sequel you did not expect to be seeing, but are going to be getting, is on its way here momentarily. It's getting ready to get worked on right now. Alan Ritchins, who is killing it in the Reacher TV series, but was also in Titans as Hawk and a few other stuff as well, has joined the cast of Fast X or Fast 10, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to do that. And as expected, this week it was revealed that the Snyder Bros, who I consistently hate, and I hate Zack Snyder as well for not defending people against the Snyder Bros, because, hey, they love me, and so I want them to keep liking me, so I'm not going to defend anybody, even though they threaten to kill people and hurt people and call other stuff that people like junk, and so you can only like our stuff, actual asshole, dickhead, shit, fuck, motherfucking pieces of crap shit, dick faces, motherfuckers, and their lord. It's been, as nobody's surprised, that it won, and they were so high on themselves when the Oscars came up with those fan vote awards, and it won for the stupidest, the best scene ever was the Flash entering the Speed Force. What the fuck is that? I mean, you had Captain America saying Avengers Assemble, you had Neo, becoming Neo in Matrix, and this piece of crap with a terrible actor, or what I can't say it now. They, he has his pronoun is they, are causing all kinds of issues and has mental issues and law issues. He's been arrested a third time now. And typical of Zack Snyder actors and actresses, they're all criminals or assholes or cause all kinds of troubles, with the exception of a few of them. But as expected, the Oscars discovered that the Snyder Bros used bots to make sure that their stuff won. That doesn't seem fair. And so they should be stripped of those, and they should be never allowed to darken Oscars ever again. And Zack Snyder should absolutely be kicked out of everything and removed because he fucking cheated on all kinds of stuff. So we should get his ass removed so he never makes another fucking movie, and get all of his fucking followers to get fucking arrested for threatening people and doing all kinds of bullshit stuff like that. So fuck them, and I hope they get something, but they're not going to. They're not going to get any prod. They're not going to. It's already, the story's not even out there anymore. Nobody's even talking about it anymore. So fuck them. Piece of shit. Your mama insult explodes into a major brawl at a poker game in a Los Angeles casino. So, your mama jokes are always the best. Like, your mama's so stupid she thinks Zack Snyder is a good filmmaker. So fuck them. 3 Americans were found dead at a sands resort in Bahamas, and a 4th was hospitalized. I kind of remember something like that kind of happening in other places as well, where Americans seem to be mysteriously dying at these resorts, stuff like that, and no one really knows the reason why. After debuting primarily on the Doctor Strange, before the Doctor Strange movie, the Avatar 2 sequel has released its trailer to the world, so it's now available online if you want to see it. Again, not excited about Avatar 2, not going to go see it. And the Avatar fan base is almost as bad as the Snyder people. Not as bad yet, but they're getting there, really close, and we'll see what happens with that. But that's what the hell? I think I marked the wrong one. Oh, Ahsoka. The Ahsoka series started filming this week, so we'll be getting that sooner than later, probably. Lake Mead out in Nevada has been getting, I think, either sucked out for some reason. The water's being sucked out for some reason. And last week, I told you they found like a dead body in a barrel. Well, this week they found more human remains there, so it appears that Lake Mead was considered as a dumping ground for mafia hits, since it's not that far away from Las Vegas. So people are doing more investigations. So some more remains are coming to light. Once DNA gets tested on them, stuff like that, we might be able to discover some unsolved murders where that we might have found the remains of them. So it's still kind of freaky what, you should have looked there probably in the first place. But I guess with the lake being so deep, it would be the perfect place to dump bodies. So I don't know. I told you Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think they ended filming. I guess it was this week. They stopped filming this week. I thought it was last week, but I guess they stopped filming this week. But then they announced something else before they finished filming. It's been announced that James Gunn's wife, who is an actress, and is a pretty good actress. She was in the Peacemaker show, and she's cute, and she's been in a few other things as well, but it's not, she's like deserves a role. It's not because the nepotism being married to James Gunn. His wife is now in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as well. Paper Girls, the comic based on Brian K. Vaughan's, and I forget the artist's name, has, I guess, an animated series coming onto Amazon. The first trailer for that came out this week. I didn't take a look at that one either. I just didn't really pay much attention to the trailers this week, but I just want to let you know that they are out there. Maybe I'll check it out later. History of the World Part 2, which is the Mel Brooks' new project, which is going to be turned into a TV series instead of a movie, is potentially casting Steve Martin and Natasha Lyonne in big roles. What the hell? Whatever the fuck this is. I have no idea what this is. Thank you. I just unsubscribed from something while you were watching. So it has cast Steve Martin and Natasha Lyonne. So that's some good casting if it holds up. They're saying that there's supposedly been approached, so it depends, I guess, whenever they work out their schedules that they should be there. But it'd be kind of neat to see Steve Martin in a Mel Brooks project, so that could be pretty interesting to take a look at. Dairy Queen has a new caramel fudge cheesecake blizzard that sounds absolutely delicious. Wouldn't mind trying that on my own. Dunkin' has a cornbread donut that I don't think I want to try. Maybe at Thanksgiving, maybe if they re-release it then, but I don't think they're going to. I think I talked about this last week, but I'm not sure. But Rich State, I guess, won the Kentucky Derby. He was an 80-1 shot, so he will not be running at the Preakness next month. So there will be no Triple Crown. So whatevs. Project Nemesis, a kaiju TV show from John Wick's director Chuck Shaholkin, is going to be coming out here really soon. Old Bay Goldfish is the newest item that gets the Old Bay treatment. 15 million-year-old. Oh, yeah, 15 million. Oh, no, we'll do that last. Michael Keaton will be directing and starring in a new thriller called Knox Goes Away. It's about a career hitman criminal like that who wants to see his son before he dies or something like that. So that could be a good thing for Michael Keaton. If he's directing and starring it, it could be an Oscar bait in a year or so. Father the Bride, but a Latin version of it. It gets a trailer. Will be appearing on HBO Max. Stars Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan as the parents. I mean, Andy Garcia will be playing the Steve Martin Father the Bride. I guess Spencer Tracy was in the other one. Haggard father role when he finds out that his oldest daughter is getting married and how he has a fit he did in the father. They're doing a Latin version of that, so good on that. Tom Brady, speaking of assholes, talking about the Snyderverse, here's another asshole we should get rid of. Tom Brady is going to be getting $375 million after he finally retires, because Fox wants him to be their color commentator on NFL games. So Tom Brady has taken the job. So apparently all this talk about him wanting to spend more time with his family is just a bunch of smoke up our asses and bullshit, because he must really hate his fucking family if he's unretiring, playing, getting prepped and doing football stuff from now until February. And then if he decides to retire after that, he's going to go right into, prepping for being a color commentary. He's going to have to go to all the games for 18 weeks and then maybe even get involved with, so he'll be will be doing football stuff again and not seeing his family as much as he used to. So fuck him and fuck that asshole. 15 million year old shoe print was discovered in Nevada. This one is was on one of those sites that's, possible conspiracy stuff like that. But it's a pretty clear picture of a footprint, and they have scientific data saying it was from 15 million years ago. So I guess some sort of footwear was created back then. I'm not sure. So we'll see. And finally, 24-year-old YouTube star Mr. Beast is now out earning Kim Kardashian, which is good because my son is listening to some of the Mr. Beast stuff. He's a YouTuber who has a lot of money, and he gives away a lot of money and a lot of stuff by doing competitions and stuff like that. He did a version of Squid Game, and he did a version of the Hunger Games, and he did one where he had like 100 people be in this plot of land, and they have to stay there for a long period of time and can't leave. And it's like in Fortnite, the circle starts falling, so they have to start clumping together, and then they can't take bathroom breaks. So it's just one of these weird little things that the winner's going to get like $1 million or something like that. So he does a lot of goofy stuff. He does some silly stuff, but he makes a ton of money and makes a lot of money. and he's a viral YouTube star, and he's now making more money than Kim Kardashian. So good for him. Kardashians are trash. As far as I know, Mr. Beast has done nothing wrong. He's just been successful because he wants to give away money, and everybody likes to get a lot of money, or he gives away cars. He gave away a house once, so he likes doing this stuff. So good for him. And I'm going to test something here real quick. So the reason why he started at one point, just like I did, and eventually has been making all this money because he has all these advertising and stuff like that. And he's been doing some shrewd investing and stuff like that. But he started as a YouTuber much like me. So let's see if I can see what would happen and see how many people actually do. I see about 6 or 7 people watch this show, but I don't know if they watch it entirely or they just watch a little bit of it. So let's see if you've made it this far. If you write in the comments, I'd buy that for $1, I will DM you and for your address, I will send you $5. Not $1. I'll give you $5. So if you go to my comments of this episode and write, I'd buy that for $1, I will DM you or I get in contact with you somehow, and I will get your address and I will send you $5. Got to start somewhere, right? Maybe I can be the next Kim Kardashian. I should have said the next Mr. Beast and not Kim Kardashian. Oh, well. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you all again next week.